This is the story about the time a little girl roasted me so hard I didn't have a comeback and still have not bounced back from it. It's been about 10 years. A 5-year-old girl roasted me with 7 words that still shake me to this day. I was 17 years old. Alongside my father, we were teaching acting classes to kids between the ages of 6 and 17 years old. We had 3 camps, 6 to 8-year-olds, 9 to 13-year-olds, and 14 to 17-year-olds. So I'm doing a good thing. Like if I met you in a grocery store line or something like that, and you'd be like, oh, what do you do? I'm like, oh, I teach acting camps to kids. You'd be like, oh, what a nice young man you are. No one could possibly have anything bad to say about you or to your face or cripple you, could they? I thought, yeah. So my father and I are teaching the 6 to 8-year-olds. There was one little girl who was too young for the class. She was 5 years old, but her dad talked us into letting her in. Her name was Xiao Xiao. And Xiao Xiao was like the human representation of ADHD. Like ADHD personified. She was like the chemical caffeine on the periodic scale. Her catchphrase was, I'm Xiao Xiao! That's not a joke, this is real life. You can't make this up. The cutest little 5-year-old Asian girl you ever saw in your entire life. She was like a character out of like a Steven Spielberg movie. Like the main character who like gets in trouble with her 3 friends, like, we gotta save the world. And while the other kid's trying to figure out what magical key this goes to, she's in the background just going, I'm Xiao Xiao! So day 1, right off the bat, she came out and popped us in the mouth with her attitude. I introduced myself. I said, hi, I'm Cameron. You know, like a human does. And she looks at my hand, looks at me and goes, I'm Xiao Xiao! And I you not. I literally went, oh! So this little girl's already won. She's beaten me. A 5-year-old girl, just terrified. A 6'2" tall man. And that was just a taste. Just a taste of what was to come. She wouldn't listen during class. She was touching her neighbor. She's giving wet willies. She's tickling other kids' lips. I saw her look at one kid and go, say ooh. Say ooh. 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 Just not okay. Just a bunch of stuff you just don't do to people. Also, I didn't know you could even do that to people. Is that allowed? So for 2 days, we have them 8 hours a day. For 2 days straight, there's no containing her. She's wet willying people, she's tickling her neighbors, she's talking while we're trying to give lessons, she's bullying everyone around her. The 3rd day she comes back, and I was at my wit's end. I'm like, dude, we can't even teach class with this kid around. This kid's a nightmare. And she's scary. I grab her, I'm like, hey, come on, Xiao Xiao, into the green room. And then an idea popped in my head. Like a flock of doves that flew out of my mouth. Xiao Xiao, do you want me to call your dad? No, I'll be good. I was like, oh, this kid gets hit at home. So then I had the power. I had all 5 Infinity Stones. I had the power. And that right there, she was cool. Cool as cucumber. Ice cool. For like 2 hours. Then she'd act up again, poke a neighbor, and I have to walk up and be like, Xiao Xiao, do you want me to call your dad? Knowing full well I could stop that stuff. So then I was cocky about it. I was like, I got this ace up my whole sleeve. Whoa. That can't be right. I have an ace in my hole? Moving on. So then, I think I overused it. I was like, king of the classroom. So of course I overused it. Even just kind of a, meh. Oh, dad? So I thought, dad on her. But I was feeling the power. I was flying, baby. I was flying high. Like Icarus. I soared too close to the sun and I got burnt. Or roasted, if you will. Yeah, I know I must have overused it. Because then Thursday, end of the day, we were almost home free. Cameron, why didn't you just put up with a little more degradation? You would have been home free and not sitting in a car 9 years later making a video about the situation. End of the day, she's acting up. And I say, Xiao Xiao, into the green room. And now I'm cocky. So I get down on like one knee and like get to her eye level. Yeah, she was a lot smaller than me. Roughly an 1/8 of my size. Shut up, she's scary. You weren't there. I'm like, Xiao Xiao, do you want me to call your dad? And she stares right back into my soul, leans in further, almost touching her nose to mine, goes, why you got such a fat neck? That hurt me even just to say out loud again. As a young child, I always noticed I had a fat neck to face ratio. Something I always noticed in the magazines, the cute dudes always have skinny necks, big jaws, and I was like, I don't have that, but I'm cute in my own way. So when this 5-year-old girl pulls my only insecurity out of nowhere and cripples me with it, there's not much you can say. Because half me just wanted to throw a haymaker. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I am just kidding. 7 words. 7 words, and this is from a 5-year-old, so her vocabulary is limited. In this 17-year-old brain of mine, I was face to face with this little girl, and my brain just said, "Eh." So what came out of my face was, go to class. She beat me. I was bested. I'd been gotten by a 5-year-old. I'm a big man. Big man, big neck. Now I'd like to take you on a journey with me. 8 years into the future from that point, I met my now good friend Rachel outside the Sacramento comedy spot where I do comedy. She had seen me perform a couple times, and in her dark, twisted brain that I've grown to love so much, she decided she'd seen a quasi-successful comedian who was obviously way too full of himself and took it upon herself to knock him down a few 100 pegs or so. Little did she know at the time how well it would work. I walk up to the spot before a show, and I see a new face. 'Tis Rachel's. And I like to greet newcomers, make them feel welcomed, and doing that is something that warms my heart. Because like with starting any new thing, whether it be a job or a new hobby, or you're trying something new, you don't really know anyone, you kind of feel out of place, I like to omit as much of those problems as I can, and just make people feel welcomed. So I'm walking up with good intent, and Rachel's talking to my good friend Claudia at the time, and I say, "Hi, I'm Cameron." And she turns to me, doesn't look at my hand, and just goes, "Your neck to face ratio is just 1. You look like a thumb." Okay. Wait. Your neck to face ratio is 1. 7 words! Again! So, on a very serious note, if there's one thing you can take away from this video, it's just, don't talk about my neck! I'm sensitive!